Welcome back, Kingsmen and all. If you're not subscribed, of course, welcome. Or if you're new to this channel, welcome. We are back with more NTW3, Napoleon Total War 3 content today. Another clan battle. This one between the IZ and Hiller clans, so two different clans. We've both seen these two clans fighting. I'm sure they've faced off against each other, but they've also faced off against several other clans, and both definitely have some excellent players. Now, are you guys ready for a battle with 50% casualties, over 50% casualties for each corps? Because every single one of these armies, all 8 armies involved in this fight, some of them take 80% casualties. It's insane. I was like, how did someone win this? Looking at the losses on all sides. But before we get into that, let us go over the armies, the map, the corps, the clans. Of course, like I said, this is the IZ versus Hiller. They're playing on Montreal. They are playing 1814. I'm not sure, but this may be the historical course for this battle. Not totally sure. Looks like some those skirmishers, a guard skirmish unit. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, they're 1814. You have Hiller playing the French and IZ playing the coalition here. Let us go over the French side first. So you can see here we have McMuffin, or 9-pointer. There's no way that's actually his corps name. I think they probably were just screwing around. There's no way. I don't believe that. Anyway, 9-pointer, 7-point Maison, 10-point Mortier, and 6-point Eugene. On the other side, I'm gonna butcher these most likely. You have a 7-point Wittgenstein. 7-point, a 9-point Saxon, a 11-point Barclay, and a 5-point Reed, I believe. Of course, up here in the front, you have the 11-point Barclay, highest point on the field with a 7-pointer, pushing up as well. As you can see, a lot of Russians. We're definitely seeing quite the Russian corps played recently. Oh, Bavaria is here. Heck yeah, Bavaria. One of my favorite factions when they were a custom army back in the day. I'm excited to see them. Going up against them, of course, the French making their advance. Now, this map, guys, this is hotly contested area always for this LOC. Both sides fighting really desperately for this. Looks like there's some Imperial Guard units, potentially.
We have taken a building.
That is a very cool looking, I'm assuming, light infantry unit. Look at these guys. The drip. I love it. I like it. But yeah, we have several units. Oh, actually, we have a bit of a cav spat here. Dragoons chasing down some Cossacks, some Kazaki Lancers. 2 of those Kazakis have broken. Of course, you have some units in the LOC, but the rest of the Russians falling back. The general probably going to fall back as well, as France heavily concentrated here on the left. You can see them in the tree line here. So many LOCs. Now, you may notice also, this is one of the newer maps that has the LOC connection rule. You have to have these lines connected LOCs in order to have them in the maps. The lines have to lead outside of the map in order to count. So, of course, they have this one right here, circling into the main section with these roads all needing to connect. Makes for a very interesting, very fun battle. Now, we are having a heavy concentration of French units here. You can see already Russia holding strong against them so far, but France really pushing here. Light infantry and line infantry forming up. Oh, pouring in some volleys both sides. I love this map for this reason. They start so close to each other. The fighting can be almost instantaneous, and also some very beautiful open fields. I love those. Of course, you know, I wouldn't love those if I was actually the infantry on this fight. You know, that'd be miserable. Open valleys and fields would be a nightmare to fight over. But it makes for some very beautiful cinematic shots, of course. Now, Barclay, he has pulled back a little bit on his left. Of course, he has some reinforcements from the 9-pointer. And then, of course, you know, you have the Bavaria pushing up, and then you have the 7-pointer on his flank. So Russia is all formed up and ready. Of course, there's going to be another French force pushing here on the far left. Someone's going to have to deal with that. They, of course, have an LOC, a grenadier in that LOC for now. But France probably is going to sweep through the left flank. Heavily concentrated, actually, on the left and in front for Russia. Russia really going to have some pressure put on them within the next 5 minutes, I suspect, as France is going to put... Oh my gosh, look at these dudes. That is glorious. That is absolutely beautiful. These have... I know I say it about every unit, but these guys have such a drip to them. Just the drip of the Grenadier Imperial Guard.
Our general is under attack.
Love it. Here we go. France has formed up in a battle line against the Russians here. Russia taking that fight for now. Canister is starting to really pour in from the flank here. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, that's going to be a problem for the French, as that's going to really start hurting. Now, we do have a charge from cavalry here. Dragoons. Now, there's some stakes that they can retreat behind. More infantry pushing forward. Looks like kind of almost like a militia forming up here. Russia getting very aggressive. Look at this push on the left flank. Really threatening that push from France. A square is still formed. Trying to pull back. They have this square, or these infantry have that stake to kind of defend themselves against cavalry charges here. It looks like those grenadiers getting assaulted here. This may be a potential melee. France trying to circle their grenadiers around, try to take this LOC, and then probably go into melee around it as well. This is usually what happens in this fight between these two factions. Whoever's defending and attacking usually always happens this way. The fight for the LOC rages, and then once someone wins, the other side has to fall back. But it usually turns into a very bloody affair. I'm assuming that left LOC has been taken. Bavaria still pushing forward, has not reinforced yet. France pushing out of the tree line. Wow. They had a lot of infantry on this right flank and cavalry heavily concentrating on Russia. Russia needs to pull back from this. Infantry and cavalry in coordination, a deadly fight here. Some yeah, these cavalry, Kazaki's outmatched. Now there's some supporting infantry to fire. Bavaria does have some of their Chevaliers. Oh, I love Bavarian cavalry here. Always loved it. But yeah, now there is actually a lot more French on the left-hand side. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I missed it. Grenadiers from France charging in here, meleeing around the house. And the bloodbath starts. Cavalry, Dragoons smacking straight into this forward line. And we have Russia going in for the bayonet. So they are trying to counter this aggressive push by the LOC by pressuring the center. France going to try to support that with some Dragoons of their own as Russia really starts breaking through. Oh my gosh. That is a huge upset. 3 lines of Grenadiers. Oh man, that is disaster. Now, of course, there is still more pushing forward. A huge force here reinforcing the center as France breaks. That is unfortunate. Well executed by Russia, charging with the cavalry and then the infantry just rushing forward, lurching forward into the center, and France is desperately rushing troops up to plug the gap that's been torn into their lines. Russia and France dueling on the left here, line infantry pouring in fire on each other. But France going for the melee here next to the LOC on the other side to see if they can change things up. And maybe they will re-engage here on the center. Cavalry still meleeing. France is still trying to hold. They have reinforcements pushing forward here. We have Bavarian cavalry and French cavalry. Ooh, France is going to definitely win this if they get into... And yep, these Chevaliers is definitely going to get chased down. They need to be more defensive, definitely. But looking at the whole scheme of things, guys, a zoomed out view, France is heavily engaged here around this LOC still. Looks like Russia and France a little bit disengaged now. Both sides have had units break. Reinforcements from France, like I said, plugging up that gap. France has managed actually to staunch the bleeding from losing the center of their line a little bit. And actually over here, Russia seems to be on the offensive. They are counterattacking And oh my gosh, they are just pushing past, charging into the reserve lines from France. This is going to force France to divert forces that may have been trying to rush towards the other side, towards the center here. Man. Actually, it looks like Russia's going to pull back. I think they don't want to take heavy losses in a potential French counterattack. Probably because they need some breathing room here as France is actually pushing forward reserve lines of infantry. The LOC still a raging melee to take it. Both sides are probably going to keep throwing troops in. It's never going to... This probably will not change hands until everything else has been decided around it. Cavalry charging in here. Some Lancers... No, some Kazakis? Or, sorry, Gussaris. A Hussar unit of sorts. Looks like France tried to go for some melee against some light infantry. Cavalry from France or from Russia trying to support this. They're going to break that unit. Both sides seem to have disengaged just a little bit, and things are calming down until the cavalry charges in. Some Mameluke. No, sorry, some Chasseurs Cheval. Charging against the Russian line. Maybe they're going to use that to then push forward more and more French infantry. You see they do have a reserve line pushing up. Both sides pouring in volleys still. Here we go. France pushing forward, getting a little more aggressive here. You can see the reserves formed up here. They are ready to make another attack. Okay, I can see why there are 50% casualties. Yep, look at this, guys. A whole push along the line. France advancing on the left side, advancing in the center. Russia actually looking a little bit low on numbers. Bavaria maybe should be, and 9-point Russia should be reinforcing this side because France is actually making a significant push here on the left and center. Lots of cavalry shifting over as well. Is this... Oh, Grenadier Cheval. Ledoux. Oh, I'm loving this fight so far, guys. Just well pitted against each other. Both forces doing an excellent job. Both have taken some small losses. I'm seeing a huge concentration of French infantry moving around. Maybe they're going to try to go for a melee here, using the town to kind of pivot and swing around into the Russian line. But Russia taking the initiative and charging in line infantry, trying to catch them out of formation. And it seems to be working decently well here. A lot of French infantry are engaged. And not in the marital sense. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, now, this push here going well for France.
This building has fallen to the
Uh-oh.
enemy.
Oh, they take it! France has finally taken the LOC. That may change the entire course of this fight in the center. Now, there is a reserve line here from Russia. And actually, Bavaria charging in on the left here, pushing up line infantry and cavalry. I love seeing Bavaria. You don't see them very often anymore. Just going down this road, going for infantry and skirmishers, and there we go. This looks like a militia unit, so they are not going to take this bayonet charge very well. Now in the center, where this house has been fought over, I think Russia is going to start breaking here, unfortunately. They don't have the LOC anymore. The left side, France has the numbers and cavalry to keep pushing here. Russia is going to be struggling numerically. They may have some good troops over here, but numerically, it's going to become a bit of a hard fight for them. They do have cavalry and infantry, so they are not done yet. It's just going to be that much harder to hold. As France, they have numbers, and not... For once, it doesn't seem like to be an insane amount of quality. Oh, a beautiful charge, impacting 3 lines of French infantry here. France, though, going for that cav charge on the flank here. Well struck. I'm seeing France really starting to make some headway over here on the LOC. Barclay pulling back his corps. His corps looks pretty badly battered. Bavaria, or Red maybe? I'm just gonna call him Bavaria. He's pulling back on the right. He's probably potentially gonna need to be reinforcing here. This 9-pointer in reserve, shifting over towards the left. I think they're getting a little concerned about this push from France, as it is not going too well here for Russia. The cavalry advantage very obviously in favor of the French, and it has been this entire time. These two Russian light infantry units are getting focused down by line infantry in melee. They're probably going to break over time. And this unbreakable thick line of militia, well, they're not unbreakable, but they're staying strong so far, and they're just soaking up a lot of Russian resources. So you can't really ignore them. All right. Oh, Ledoux in for a cavalry charge here. Ooh, watch the counter volley. It's not a very large unit, but they're definitely going to get some shots off on the French cavalry. Things are looking a little better for the French now, guys. Things are starting to, despite that massive upset in the center, which Russia, by the way, has fought excellently. I think they have played it very well. I think the numbers are against them in this fight. I think they have less men than the French do, which is odd. Russia usually has the numerical advantage. Yeah, France is just using their numbers and just pressuring this 7-pointer. And it is not working out well for Russia. They are totally falling back, as they should try to. This artillery now in danger. Maybe they can get a couple more canister shots off, but France probably going to try to focus them down as quickly as possible. Oh, they have to charge this infantry. They have to. Just fire. Just do some damage. Are they going to fire? No way. Fire, 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 please. Oh, no. All right, well, cavalry charge into the Russian line. I'm beginning to think this is going downhill for Russia very quickly. Bavaria has fallen back. Maybe they're going to try to reform across the river, and they can do a counterattack of sorts. Because you can see from a zoomed out view here, France is collapsing on all sides. Russia is falling back on every single direction here. These dragoons need to engage, and they do. Artillery. Did it fire onto the general? Like I said, yeah, the coalition actually are managing to retreat across the river. Probably going to reform and try again to maybe they can counterattack or force the French to take them. Now, while the retreat is happening, let's consider the LOC advantage here. So each point, I believe, is just 1. So the French have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 1, 2, 3. Oh. Yeah, the French don't have to attack here. They could stay on this hill and wait out this battle. The French have an LOC advantage here. The Russians are the ones who are going to have to force an engagement. Now, maybe the French will attack. Maybe they'll just be like, humor us. We're just going to attack here. Who cares about everything else? The coalition definitely still have cavalry. They have cav advantage still to a certain degree. But yeah, France is maybe going to rest up here. This may be a small pause in the fighting. They have definitely pushed. I mean, they have paid a heavy price in this advance. They have lost a lot of men. Maybe they're going to keep pushing, you know? Flush from the first victory. Maybe they'll just make it. They have enough men. This town fight, though, could get very messy very quickly. But Russia is getting a chance to reform here, and France is not pursuing them necessarily. Now, I think the French may have artillery. Not a lot of artillery, I think. They do have some. Yep, you can see here they're setting up some artillery. A beautiful position. The coalition have pretty much lost all of their guns in this hold they had. That was a beautiful fight. Now, it didn't last very long, obviously. We've been going for almost 20 minutes, so the furious fight, but I did promise some heavy losses on both sides, and I think we definitely saw that deliver. I did deliver. I delivered the replay with a promise. This seems like a fun core to play, though. Man, look at these skirmishers, or not skirmishers. Wow, these militia These guys signed up, probably got some basic training and got sent out to fight. And they're like, wow, we actually survived against the Russians. What do you know? This guy's like, wow, Ferdinand. That's not a French name. Wow, Pierre, we made it. We freaking made it. And the officer's like, I am so proud of you guys. Wait, where's up? Yeah, there he is. He's like, I'm so proud of you guys. I thought you all gonna break and run, but I'm proud of you. Look, he even got a medal. Wonder what kind of medal that is. I see it on all the officers. I'm curious if it's even a medal or if it's just like a signification of I'm an officer. There he is. Oh, this guy doesn't have one. I guess some people have it and some people don't. That's kind of interesting. Does this officer have it? Where is he? Does he have a medal? Oh, no, he has a sash. No medal. Ooh, these guys don't have an officer anymore. That's rough. Here we go. Yeah, he doesn't have a medal either. The heck? Alright, that medal must mean something. Maybe he was a decorated war hero and he decided to lead the militia from his local hometown. Who knows? We're still waiting. Oh, this guy has one too. I'm not sure what's going on with the officer. These officers are leading charming lives. Wait, maybe I should fast forward. I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. I hope the French just make an assault. It would be more fitting than sitting there, you know. I bet you they make an assault. There's no way they don't. They're shuffling troops to preemptively make one. I think they're all resting up their men. I think the French... Actually, look at this. We're seeing a shift over here. Majority of the corps are shifting all their forces so they have a kind of a foothold, but still... I'm gonna say, as long as they can hold by this LOC, they have high ground, or equal ground at least, in order to push uphill against the French. But I suspect the French are going to start pushing into the town. Barclay will have his work cut out for him. His units are so like 50% casualties on almost every single unit, so that's gonna be a very rough hold. But maybe they're trying something here, guys. Maybe they're trying to push up here and then collapse the flank and just get a mass rout going. So we'll fast forward and keep our eye on that. I expect to see a French advance at any moment here. Now, because, I mean, they have a lot of forces stacked up here. You know, they don't have a lot of forces here, at least then that you can, not that you can see. They could have a lot more. This road will be a perfect kind of a quick moving supply road, I guess you call it, like a quick moving reinforcement. Actually, yeah, we're seeing the French shifting a lot, probably because they see the massive push here. And keep in mind, the Bavarian Corps, as small as it is, has not really been engaged yet. They still have a lot of their men left, so I definitely expect to see some action here on this left-hand side. It just sucks that Bavaria was so far back, weren't able to reinforce until pretty much the battle was decided, which makes for an interesting push, of course. Okay, this is what I think is happening here. So you see the push being made here. I think they're trying to go for a huge cut. Taking this LOC will cut... well, no, because they still have this one. Maybe they're trying to deprive the enemy of some... trying to cut the supply chain. The route trying to be cut. But France has some units in the tree line. All right, we can pull that back. What a dark, foreboding looking forest. But France is pushing their troops across. Yeah, a lot of the units look very, very fresh and not depleted. So it's gonna be a tough fight for the coalition. However, they're probably pushing this right side because the artillery advantage for the French isn't really there as much. I'm just gonna hit the fast forward button again because we're still waiting. There's artillery piece. I wonder if it got focused down by cavalry and can't move now. That's unfortunate. Or can it? Oh, it can. They're just keeping it back so they don't have to protect it, I guess. It can fire all the way to here, so actually that's not a bad idea. But here we go, an advance being made. Let's appreciate the cinematic beauty. You know, one thing I wish I had in my state that I don't is reenactment groups. Any historical reenactment group. There's nothing where I live whatsoever. It's kind of sad. You know, at this point, I would take anything for reenactments. I don't have anything. It's not even, like, there's some stuff in the next state over, but that's like a, you know, 8-hour drive. It's the only sad part about where I live. I don't live in a very historically loving state. I'm not saying they don't. Just the history is more. I live in New Mexico, so it's not really much about the American wars or European wars or world wars. Not really as much that. Oh, looks like there's a cav fight happening over here. That the French are winning. Probably because they have some Lancers, a very good Lancer unit just rolling over. I mean, they took some losses here, looks like. Not as much as the Russians did. But yeah, no, I wish there was more reenactment groups. My dream one of these days is to find a group that's going to the Waterloo reenactment and see if I can, you know, either rent some stuff or borrow some stuff and go and join in a reenactment. Or any reenactment at that point. I would love to travel to Europe and do a reenactment. Just the one time, bring a GoPro, record my footage, and share it on my channel. I'd love to do that. At some point, it's my dream. It's gonna happen. Just a matter of time, I guess. I just gotta get connected with the right people. But here we go, trying to utilize the terrain to their advantage. The artillery hasn't really gotten a good shot at them yet, as there's a lot of hills in the way. But I suspect this artillery, as you get closer, yep, it's going to start telling. Not all of it, but it's definitely going to start hurting this advance. France is prepared for them, though. Cavalry hopefully get some nice nice charges in here. Ooh, this French line was ready. Look at this. They have an entire line formed. Man, what a tough fight for the coalition here. I mean, they can focus down the weak points in this French line. Or maybe they'll just focus this one area, but there's so many reserves. Oh, the artillery friendly fire. And you notice they're focusing just this one area here. Of course, the French are now going to swing their right flank into gear to be able to support so that they can't just get focused down. We do see cavalry trying to go for this artillery. This is crucial to keep this artillery. For the French, it's crucial to keep this artillery in position. It's crucial for the Russians to focus down. Oh, the canister. Ooh. Friendly canister. Kazakis gonna charge in now. One line does break to that canister. France can pull the guys off the guns. Yeah, look at this. This could in of itself save the day for the French. This will be a noble endeavor. They're gonna definitely try. I wonder if Barclay could swing around and try attacking the flank here. You know, just sneak some troops over here and just boom, try to alight upon the flank here. But look at this, a charge here. We have cavalry going through a gap in the lines. They're gonna try their best, guys. They are going to go with what they got. This is all or nothing. And initial success. Actually, some very, very good success in the initial charge here Even Russia going in with cavalry here, wavering. Russia sending in troops. France is starting to break. Ledoux will be committed pretty soon here, I guarantee you. Cavalry gonna try to pull back. Oh, there we go. Ledoux's being, they have to run through their own troops. That would not be very good. For all the marbles, the coalition are committing their final attack, I suspect. This is the final charge here. Oh, I mean, coalition actually doing an excellent charge here. They are breaking. Now, Bavaria does break in that first charge, but they can send in more national field militia. Another cav charge. Oh, man. Beautifully executed. That was a very good charge against the French line. And over here, the French, they're starting to focus down the 7-pointer who's going to try to soak up as much damage as possible to protect that flank. Cavalry cycling in and out. Russia locked in. Barclay even focusing in, sending in some grenadiers, breaking the first initial French line. More cavalry cycling in and out. Oh, Ledoux charging in here. Now that is a square formed. Beautifully done. Look at Bavaria strategically place their squares here to protect against Ledoux as they are fighting here in the center. Oh, the National Militia breaking this first line for the French. Now, of course, we'll see how well they hold up against the reserves of the French. Barclay rushing out here, gonna go in on this line. Oh, man. Man, this is quite a well-executed attack by the coalition. Now, of course, this line on the left starting to break. France starting to collapse in on that left flank for the coalition. It's going to start becoming very tough for the coalition to hold. But they chewed through a decent amount of the French line here. But France is pushing in those reserves. And French cavalry on the left. Oh, that's going to be a little tough one for Bavaria to hold. He is holding, but here comes the French left swinging in on them as the 7-pointer has pretty much broken.
Our men are running, sir.
Barclay's still in it, guys. And the 9-pointer as well starting to push in. Or he has been pushing in. He's fighting with that reserve French line now. There we go. Bavaria taking another cav charge from the Grenadier Cheval. At the same time, though, this heavy French left, or right technically, is swinging into the coalition's left. And now France is going on the counter charge. Okay, I don't know where this Grenadier Cheval is going, but they kind of ran through that unit for a second there, but it broke. It's kind of hard when it's such a large unit, I guess, but it looks like they're going to pull back. Man, the coalition were so close. They broke the center. If only they had a little bit more of a reinforcements to protect their left, maybe would have worked, but right as of right now, the coalition have no forces left to make this hold. But hey, 33 minutes in this battle so far. Sappers form square. Maybe. Two depleted to form square at this point. And I think this is going to be a... this is it, I think, for the coalition, unfortunately. Yeah, there's not much else really to be done here. Now, I'm not really sure if there was a dramatic moment where the coalition lost big, honestly. I mean, this fight here by the center, they broke those grenadiers. They broke these grenadiers, 3 of them around the LOC. Of course, they got charged here. They fought back. They even countercharged and they pulled back. The charge here was beautiful. It crushed the French center at first. Absolutely crushed them. Then the reinforcements here on the right pushed over. Now, to give perspective here, we have an army for the coalition versus the coalition versus the French, there's a total of, let's see, I mean, 18, almost 2, almost 3, 1. That's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7,500 men versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a little over 6,000 men. Over 7,000 versus 6,000. So like over, well over 1,000 men on the French side over the coalition. So definitely a numerical advantage. 1,000 men is like quite a significant amount. You have to make some real plays to counter that numerical advantage, especially if they're all there. Yeah, I think this battle's over. I don't think it's going to go to LOC. There's plenty of time left. To think the French will just fight this. Yeah, you can see the coalition being good sports and just pulling their units out of LOCs to end this battle sooner, which is very commendable of them to, you know, just fight it to a death match at this point, not delay the game. I mean, I've always seen good sportsmanship on these clan battles. Definitely in public matches, you see some people be very toxic, unfortunately, and try to just delay the battle to the very end, like some trolls, which is why I don't really play public games as much, especially on streams. You know, there's plenty of people that troll. But yeah, they're being very accommodating, sportsmanlike when it comes to it. So we're pretty close to the end here, I think, for this fight.
Our men are running, sir.
1 or 2 units left. But it's still a beautiful fight, I think. A beautiful fight. I was so surprised when all these French infantry pushed out of the woods. And then, of course, seeing the huge French force pushing from this right-hand side. That had to be the force of 2,700 men from France. But it could have been the force of 2,000 men. But, yeah. We'll like I said, I'm just fast-forwarding so we can see... whoever sent this replay in, we can see their... Oh, Bavaria did. See how his units did in this fight. I mean, he didn't get a fight till the very end, and at that point he was more breaking units than being able to just kill him. But yeah, let's pull up the results here so we can see a French victory, Hiller victory. You have on the French side De Joc. He was playing the 9-pointer, I believe. I got 978. You have Met as no, he was the 9-pointer, sorry. Met was the 9-pointer with 1637 for the kills. Rambo as Mortier 10-pointer with 1052, and then you have Jerka as Misson 7-pointer with 606 for the kills. On the other side, you have Chain playing as Bavaria with 605 for the kills. Implex, he was the Barclay 11-pointer, 1570. Data L as the 9-pointer with 948. And then Lotus, he was the 7-pointer with 722 for the kills. So obviously more kills on the French side. I mean, it's almost the same, but the big takeaway, guys, look at the losses. That's insane. Like, everybody took heavy losses. I think that was a pretty bloody battle. It was pretty bloody, and I enjoyed watching. I think both sides played well. One side was able to obviously capitalize over the other side. Beautiful final assault by the coalition. Loved that assault. That was beautifully executed. They just ran out of men to be able to follow it up. But victory for the Hiller clan. So GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for joining me. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will catch you all in another video.